Greetings, this is Spec Ops 56 coming to you from my back porch where I have my little vegetable container garden. This is an update on the current condition of my little vegetable container garden. Today is the 22nd of July. It's been about 2 weeks since my last update. If you'll remember, in my last update, my garden was under attack by the tomato hornworms and by my own screw up that caused most of the foliage on all of my plants to severely get scorched, and everything was looking really pitiful, and I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to be able to save it. Well, for this update, I'm happy to say I've been working on it long and hard, trying to save it, and the result of that is
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
that's right, it's alive. My plants really did a good job of fighting for life. And all I really did was I made sure to rinse off all that excess Epsom salts that caused part of the problem and caused them to scorch. I pruned off all the dead branches, all the severely burned leaves, any of them that are like this that still had mostly green life left in them, I left on it. And I continued to nurse them along, and as you can see, they have definitely come back to life. Lots of new growth, strong stems. Of course, most of the new growth started at the top and it's gotten taller and taller, so I'm going to have to trim them at the top so they'll stop growing tall and they'll start to bush out. I've got new flowers coming out. This one is my one of my tomato plants. This is the pink brandywine, the heirloom. So heirlooms, as I understand it, are normally a lot slower growing anyway. So I expect it'll be a while yet before I get any fruit out of this, but it does seem to be on its way. I have kept a good sharp eye on my plants to make sure that the invaders have not returned, and as far as I can tell, they haven't. Now coming over here to my bell pepper plant, which, as I told you from the very beginning, it has never grown any taller than the transplant when I put it in here. And before, it only had a few leaves, and that's about all it did. Well, when all the leaves fell off a couple of weeks ago, and I've been babying it ever since, well, you can see it has really grown new foliage, and it's still not growing any taller. So I don't know what it's going to do, but at the very least, hey, it's good decoration. So we'll have to see how that goes. Now we come over here to my cherry tomato plant, and it seems to be doing about the best of all of them. It came back the quickest, and it had already had a few little green fruits coming out on it at the time that I had the problems. But it's really coming back like it was before the problems started. So I'm real happy. In fact, I got a little something to tell you about this cherry tomato plant in a minute. As you can see, it is setting fruit, and it's setting more clusters of flowers. So I expect to get at least a fair harvest out of this one. And then we come to my cucumber plant. Now, before I screwed it up, it had many flowers, and it even had one little cucumber starting to grow on it. Well, that cucumber disappeared, and most of the flowers dried up. But as you can see, this one also has really come back to life in a big way. I got a bunch of new foliage, bunch of new flowers. So I'm expecting to at least get a few salads worth of cucumbers out of this one. And lastly, we come to my big slicing hybrid tomato, the Better Boy. And as you can see, it's also coming back to life. So far, I've got one decent looking tomato starting to grow, and then I got a little mini me right here. So everything has come back to life. It's growing like it should. I'm going to keep a closer eye on it, make sure that I don't lose any more to garden pests or anything else. And so I just wanted to report on that. There's one other thing I wanted to report on. Last Sunday, I actually was able to make my very first harvest out of my vegetable garden. And here's what it looked like. Now I want to tell you that I put that little bad boy on top of my lunch salad that day, and I enjoyed every bit of it. So until I have something else to report about my little vegetable container garden, this is Spec Ops 56 saying so long and over and out.
I feel much better now. I really do.